we are going into a wonderful time when the whole earth is going to change. And those who have been part of this will be the ones who move into the new dimension. The earth is changing its frequency and its vibration to move into an entirely different dimension. And the rest of these people who have been experimented on and upgraded, so to speak, will be the ones that go on with the new earth because they're the ones that can handle it. The other ones, their bodies can't. And they said the human species must not perish. We must have some survive. They're afraid we're going to blow up the earth. And they said that was the only time they would be allowed to interfere, is if we take it that far. But they want some of the species to be saved. And some people have told me, about they're here to take over the world. And I know I've heard some of the other speakers talk about the implants are to trigger them, to help them be like robots to take over the world. None of that is true at all. They said, why do people say we're here to take over the world? It's ours. It always has been. We can't do anything as bad to you as you do to yourself. So they're really afraid of us, our violence, and they're waiting for us to get out of this violence and get all of these wars and everything out of the picture. Then we can join with them. That's the idea of developing a species like this. They want us to join with them and do the same things they're doing, traveling in space, because they said we have curiosity and creativity that they think would be very important to the universe as it develops. So there's a whole lot more to this than people think. And I have not found the negativity. Once you find out why it's happening, it takes on a whole different look. You remove the human fear. And they're really very caring people, and they're doing a lot to help people. There are many different types, and there are many different types of craft. The huge mother craft are like cities within cities. They're enormous. That's where the laboratories are. And the little craft are the ones that you see going back and forth. Those are the smaller ones. The bigger, larger ones are the huge mother craft. And they have many people on board these craft of different races from all over the universes. It's much bigger and much wider than you could ever imagine. But they all have their jobs to do, and there are things that they're involved with. Some people talk about the ones that look like insects. They said that's because they're different types of beings have gone in different directions. Some went the insect line, the insectoid. Other ones went the reptilian type, and we went the mammal line. It could be anything, any type of life. That's just the way they went. Doesn't mean there's anything negative about it. It means they function in a different way, different mentalities, but it's just different forms of life. They don't like the fact that we're doing all these horrible things. So they said they can't understand how we can kill someone of our own kind. It just doesn't make sense to them at all. The idea they're trying to get us to change our civilization, get over this negativity, because of the violence. They're very afraid of that. We can't join them until we get through with the violence and these wars that we're having right now. We have to get through all of that first. When they travel by shifting their vibrations and frequencies. All they have to do is raise the vibration of the craft. It's like watching a fan blade or a propeller on a plane. When it speeds up, it becomes invisible. That's what happens with them. When they speed up the vibration and frequency of the craft, it will disappear into the other dimension. People have reported seeing a light in the sky will suddenly blink out. And other times they'll see one just appear. That's when they slow down the vibration to come into our atmosphere. This is very hard on them. They don't like to be in our density. This is a very low, dense vibration. They would rather stay out of our atmosphere. If there is a message from them, is that they do want us to join with them eventually, but they want us to know we are children of the stars. We have been created and taken care of since the beginning of time. They have no desire to harm us. They are our caretakers. And they love the species because they love the way it's developing. They don't like what we're doing. But if there's a message, it's to let people know that they are not negative and they are here to help us. They will eventually appear in mass, but it won't be until we get our act together. And at that time, they will appear and let everyone know they're here. And they said at that time they would also give us lots of medications and cures and help the bodies. At one time, I had a regression, which I thought was a regression. Actually, it was a future progression. A man was in a football stadium, and this huge UFO came down into the football stadium. And they got out and announced to the people they were finally going to announce themselves to the world. And they were here to help the world with the medications and all the things we were going to need. And they said this is occurring simultaneously all over the world where lots of people were gathered. They would appear instantaneously all over the world to these people. And that way the governments would not be able to deny it. But they said there will still be some people sitting in that stadium who will not believe what they see with their own eyes. But when this happens, we will be traveling in space, living in space, wonderful inventions you can't even imagine. They're going to give us a non-polluting form of power, of energy that will be placed on a space station and beamed to the Earth. And these are some of the amazing things they're going to give us. And the human body will be perfected to the point it will never die. But a lot of these things are going to happen when we go into the new Earth. And they have tried and tried to help us repair the old Earth that we're on. We have damaged it so much. They said we have polluted the waters, we have polluted the earth, the sky, the dirt, the animals, everything is suffering. They are trying and trying to repair it, and they said it's got to the point they don't think they can do it anymore. They want people to do it, but people are not getting the message, and they're not going to get it fast enough before everything is just going to come to a head, and it won't be able to handle it anymore. This is what some of the earth changes are happening now, because the earth itself is rebelling. The earth itself is a living being, and it will come back at us. They said like a dog shaking off fleas, it will rebel. It's done it before many, many times. And if we don't get our act together, it will do this major shift. And they said they don't think there's time. They can't interfere to a certain extent. They've tried to send energy into the earth, but it's not going to be enough. This is why we are going to be shifting into what is called the new earth, a different frequency and vibration. And the whole earth will shift into another dimension. And at that time, they hope this will be much better. It will be beautiful. It will be pristine. It will be clean. And the old earth will be left over here with all of the earth changes, the cleansing going on that it's going to need. But there will be millions and millions of people will leave at that time because they will not be able to survive. And Annie Kirkwood, she's the one who wrote Mary's Message to the World, was at a conference that I was at, and she talked about a vision she had had of the new earth. She said she saw the earth. Then she saw it begin to pull apart and divide like two cells dividing. And when she did, it pulled apart into two earths. Over here on this earth, she heard them saying, "We did it, we did it." Over here they were saying, "Poor thing, she died believing all that." So they will not even be aware that anything has occurred when this switch happens. And we go into the new vibration, new frequency. They said it's happening now. You can feel it around you. A lot of people feel it in their bodies if they're sensitive to it. They know something is happening. We're living in exciting times, and there's a lot ahead of us. We don't need to be held back by fear of these other things, fear of the unknown. They're all there to help us. This is what I've found now, are what I call the three waves. because they've come in at different times. And this was the experiment to see, because Earth was really needed help. The first wave would be those born right at the end of the Second World War, right about the time I said when they discovered that we dropped the bomb, we didn't need the energy, we couldn't handle it. That's when the new souls began coming in, which I used to say 50s. My daughter says, don't be too strict on these ages because we don't know. Some people tell me they're in their 60s and they think they are one of the forerunners because they fit the qualifications. But I would say nowadays, it's been, about 60 years, hasn't it, since the end of World War II. Those age ranges are the ones who are the forerunners. These are the first wave that came in. Okay, the first wave of people don't want to be here. They don't like it. They're very unhappy. They may have a good family, good jobs, but they don't like Earth. They don't like the negativity. They want to go home. They don't know where home is. They just know it's not here. The second wave came later. Julie, what do you think? It's about 20s or 30s years old now? I mean, not 20s, 30s or 40-year-olds, and that's the second wave. The second wave are what I call the generators, the antennas, the channelers. They're here to just be. They're here to channel energy. They will affect anybody they're around. They said you could walk through a mall, a crowded place, and affect everyone that you walked by. This is from the energy generating from the person. This is helping everyone. Because I have people coming and they want to know their purpose. They want to know what they're supposed to be doing. They say you're not supposed to be doing anything. You're supposed to just be. Well, of course, they're not very happy with that. They want to know, what am I supposed to do? These people, the second wave, are very gentle. They're usually in the background. If they do get married, I found some that find another soul like themselves. They usually don't want children because they said to have children creates karma. They don't want karma. They want to do their job and get out of here. They don't want to stay here any longer than they have to. And some of the second wave, their energy is totally different from our energy of us earthbound on the wheel of karma. The energy is different. They're coming in for the first time into such a strange, dense, heavy world. So sometimes when they first enter the mother's body into the fetus, the energy is so different and so strong that the baby will abort because it can't match the frequency of the mother. Well, the third wave are the new children. These are the ones you call the indigo, the new children coming in that are considered the hope of the world. They're the gift of the future. They are coming in with everything in place. See, as we go through going into the new earth and everything, our DNA is being changed so that we can adapt to all the changes that are happening now. These children are coming in with everything in place. Everything is there. They don't have to have any changes made. They are ready and they're willing to go. This is why they're a totally different breed. But these are the hope of the world. So these are the three waves, and they've all come in here to help us to move into the new earth. Because we're moving into it now. The vibrations and the frequencies are changing. We are moving into a new world that something has never happened before in the history of the universes. Everybody's watching, all the other beings. This is the greatest show on earth. But they want to see, are we going to be able to pull it off? Are we going to be able to do it? Because it's never happened before. And this with these people, when I have them in the session, they'll say, we've come to help the earth go through its next incarnation. The earth is a living being. It is moving. It is evolving. It doesn't care if we go with it or not. It's going to do its thing. And if you want to go with it, we're just like fleas on a dog. It doesn't care. It'd rather get rid of us. But if we want to go with us, then we have to adapt, and our bodies have to change to move with it.
Did you?